Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are looking at something that's now quite old and becoming quite rare and quite difficult to find these days in actual fact. We are looking at the 1993 release by Palisades from their series of reissue Micronauts figures. And these figures that they reissued were all based on the 1970s Micronauts figures that were originally released by Mego between 1974 and 1980. Mego dropped the line in 1980, just a couple of years before they filed for bankruptcy. Seems to be a little bit of a downward trend. Anyone that's been associated really with the Micronauts have ended up going into bankruptcy. Palisades took the contract of or the license to produce the Micronaut reissue figures or retro figures in 1991. They acquired the license from Japanese toy company Takara, and originally they were told that they would have access to the original molds, which wasn't the case, and they had to start marketing or manufacturing these toys from scratch, creating the molds and so on. Anyway, longs and shorts of it is they produced 3 series of these Micronaut figures, series 1 and series 2. Unfortunately, the broker that was organising the manufacturing of these toys used a manufacturer that was probably not the best to use, and consequently a lot of the series 1 and series 2 figures came through with faults, broken, missing bits, and very poor quality. Now that resulted obviously in big problems for Palisades, and they ended up they were replacing people that sent back the faulty figures with replacement figures. However, they were replacing them with more faulty ones, so consequently series 1 and series 2 suffered miserably because of poor manufacturing. Series 3 went into production and did fare better because the quality issues had been resolved. However, by that time it was a little bit late, whereas a lot of the toy shops, the retailers, wouldn't take on the Micronauts because of the earlier versions that were very poor quality, and 90% of them were returned. So the toy line for series 3 really didn't do very well. Anyway, that, and I was to say it, but it did. The Micronauts was probably one of the main reasons that Palisades filed for bankruptcy just 2 years later. Okay, so anyway, I have digressed, but let's get back to the point. This is the Palisades Micronaut Series 3 action figure, and it says the interchangeable world of Micronauts, a Galactic Defender, fully poseable Space Warrior, includes Aerobionic Helmet, Super Rocket Pack, Blade Wings, Leg Rockets, Laser Sword, Stun, Carbine and Figure Base. Okay, so that is the front of the card. Now on the right hand side it says Retro Series, and it's got ages 5 and up. And the top left hand corner you've got the Palisades logo. Okay, that's the front of the card. Now before we have a look at the figure itself, I just want to turn the card around to the back and let's see what we got printed on the back. Okay, so I've turned the card around to the back, and this is what we got on the back. So it says Micronauts. They came from Innerspace in the 1970s. The world was first introduced to the startling and amazing new world of the Micronauts. These highly detailed, super playable figures were originally brought to the United States by a legendary toy company named Mego, and continued to be highly sought after by collectors and kids of all ages. Palisades is extremely proud to present these reproduction of the classic toys. With a painstaking attention to detail and a few extra surprises, these new and updated reproductions will pave the way for awesome all-new Micronauts toys to be released in 2003. And other ones in the series, you got Pharoid, Centurius, Repto, Red Falcon, and Emperor Amigus. It says collect all the Retro Micronauts. Now there's a couple that were 6 inches. So the Red Falcon and the Emperor Amigas were 6-inch figures. All of the others were the classic 3-inch figures, as produced originally by Mego. Okay, and this one, it says play with it. Palisades on the top right corner, palisadetoys.com, retro series, and it says Galactic Defender. Equipped with super powerful weapons and heavy armor, Galactic Defender is the Microverse's main line of defense against marauding aliens and the legions of Baron Karza. He was one of the only 2 classic heroic 1970 Micronauts that carried any personal weaponry. Microbite, a 1970s Galactic Defender with all accessories, is a challenging addition to a Micronaut collection. Now his arsenal is even more powerful with a new super rocket pack. And then you've got all the credits on the left hand side for the manufacturing of these figures. The Palisades licensing and copyright information at the very bottom. You've got the CE logo, the barcode, and that's it. But this section with a Galactic Defender in that is a cutout card that you can cut out and keep in your collection. Out cards, so for each figure you would have an image of the figure and a bio to go with it that you would cut out from the packet and keep your figure. Okay, that is the back of the packet. So let's now turn the packet back round to the front and let's have a look at the figure itself. Okay, so I've turned the card back round to the front and I've zoomed in on the Micronauts figure itself. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a figure out of the packet. Unfortunately, these are still sealed in the packet, so obviously I cannot open them and remove them because obviously they'd no longer be new, and they wouldn't be as sought after as they are sealed in the packet. Okay, but this is the Galactic Defender, and there you can see, we zoom right in, he's got very good features on his face for a item that was made 31 years ago. And the sculpting is pretty good from Micronaut. And I know you can't get the Micronaut figures very wrong because they were really animated. So, but it is very, very good figure. Looking at the item, I'm just hoping, obviously, that the quality of this one, judging by Palisades' reputation, that the quality on this one is as good as it's supposed to be, because it is from the later series rather than the early series. Where the faults were made with these figures. Okay, but as you can see, you've got all the accessories to go with it. So you've got the backpack, the wings that are just behind him there, and I'm not quite sure what they are. And he's got his staff on the left-hand side of him, and his weapon at the very top there. Now, I'm just going to have a measure of him because it's about the 3 3/4 inch figure size, which is, yeah, so we're looking at a total of 9.5 centimeters, which would translate to 3 3/4 inches. And the width across from his cuffs, I would say, you're looking at about 4 centimeters, which would again correlate to 1.5 inches. And depth wise, he's very narrow. He's about 1 centimeter, which is about 1/2 inch. So that's the size of the Micronaut figure. And as you can see, so he's got his helmet at the top there, his wings and backpack at the back. And so I'm not quite sure what they are, but they must be, oh, I see. So they go on his legs. So there must be weapons that attach to his legs, just like you've got in the picture there. So, yeah, I can't see where they would mount onto his legs, but that's, according to the picture, he's got them on the side of his legs there. You can see the wings at the back, which are there, and his helmet, which goes over the head, and there's his blaster, and there's his stick. Yeah, not quite sure what that is. Looks like maybe it's a sword or something. and the stand is at the bottom with the paperwork at the bottom there as well. And that's really about it, I think. I can't see anything else. I think this is the stand on the back here, and maybe you get the picture at the back there that goes onto the stand. I'm not quite sure there, but it does say it comes with a display stand, so I'm guessing that's what the stand is, that there. Okay, and then you got the Palisadestoys.com, play with it at the bottom there, warning choking hazards there, and that is the Micronauts. Okay, now we've already discussed the problems that Palisades had with the production of the Micronauts. How well did these do? Well, like I said, the first two series done fairly well in original sales. However, there were so many returns from faulty products and the replacements that were sent out were faulty, and they were also returned. So Palisades didn't do themselves any favour by replacing faulty units with more faulty units. I understand, obviously, that the production was beyond their control. They were just the licensee holders and the distributors, if you like. They weren't actually the manufacturers. The manufacturers was a company in China, which was arranged for through a broker. And the broker, obviously, he didn't do what he was supposed to do and employ a reputable company to manufacture the first two waves of figures. He went to a company that really didn't have much ethics about the quality of what they was manufacturing for a fraction of the cost, and then it ended up keeping the money that was paid to him without producing the items that was originally sampled. So that was their problem. However, by replacing 40 units again with more 40 ones, it really, I think, became their demise. And after that, the manufacturers really wasn't interested in stock. The retailers really wasn't interested in stocking Series 3, and there's very few shops that actually did hold them, even though the quality of these particular ones was far, far superior to the earlier ones. So there we are. That brought about the demise of Palisades, and eventually, I think it was about 18 months later, they filed for bankruptcy. Okay, now, so we know how they done. Let's fast forward then to 31 years on to the current time, and do these items come up for sale very often? The answer to that is not very often. They do occasionally pop up, but in this mint sealed condition, very, very rarely. Now we have a few of these Micronaut figures, and they do appear to be, well, the ones we have are all from the final series, so the quality is far superior to the first two series, and the ones that we have are probably the rarest of all the figures because of the fact that they just didn't sell. You do get some pop up from time to time on the platforms, but they do tend to be the earlier ones that have been faulty or broken or missing bits or not particularly good. The later series, there was such low volume that they very, very rarely come up for sale. However, we at Midas Touch have managed to find a few of these figures, and they are currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Micronaut figures and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that, there's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and we are absolutely sure that this is something that you will not want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or maybe just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful old figure with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video. So bye for now.